maybe you're wanting something that's just a little bit more relaxed. You could do some fishing, whether that's
some fishing. True. You could do some fishing. How many of us are doing some fishing on a regular basis? That's true. Very, very true. Some fishing. That one VA. Should you play Black Desert in 2025? 44K views. I'll be the judge of that.
It's a good game. So I figured I'd go ahead and make this video to answer a question that some of you may have. Is BDO worth it in 2025?
No. I'm just kidding. If you're a life skiller or a PvEer, the game I think is baseline fine. If you want to play BDO for PvP, absolutely not. Steer clear, in my opinion, if you're trying to do PvP. But again, PvE, life skilling, and like kind of like that RP sense, where like you have that world sense. You want to play a sandbox MMO. There's a lot of great systems in the game with regards to that, and it's kind of just like a solo player experience now. Where there's really not very much end game stuff to do very much, but again, like you'll have endless loops of content to do no matter what you want to do, whether it's sailing on the ocean or gathering or fishing or God, if you like fishing, holy shit, this game in 2025 is crazy.
But before I go over the pros and cons, I do want to mention that currently BDO is free on both Steam and the website.
Is this sponsored? This guy didn't even get paid to make this. Pearl Abyss is like Pepe business, easy money.
The deal for Steam ends a little bit earlier on January 6th, and the deal on the website ends on January 9th. With that being said, you're also able to purchase other packages of the game for 50% off. Now, let's go ahead and let's get to the pros. To start things off, BDO has one of the most amazing character creations.
How did you butcher a Deadeye? What the f*** is that, an alien? What did you do to Bay?
That I have ever seen. It will allow you to make your character as good looking or as cursed as you want it to.
That's get it out.
But if you're like me, you're probably going to be spending the most amount of your time at the very start of the game sitting in character creation. Whether you're trying to get your character to look exactly how you want it to, or you're struggling to find a good name. But if you don't want to take too much time, there's actually also a beauty album where you
never click that button. Never click that button, especially in North America. You never click that button. It's always some crazy, weird, Coomer bait, emo, step on me, mommy. I cut myself in Minecraft in the tub to Evanescence, like vibe character. Like it's literally ass.
where you can select the highest voted characters for your class within the community. And
problem, you guys are so there it is. There it is. Case in point. Case in point. Bro, some big ass donkey donk honker donker titty ass Valkyrie with some emo ass looking haircut and face, bro. I pre-watched. I'm not pre-watched. I've just played on NA for so long that I already know that you guys are damaged.
And copy.
You always want some big ass titty goth girl.
And paste that look directly to your character.
That is honestly also the anime waifu big ass titty waifu bitch.
The next thing we're going to be talking about is one of...
Was that a lawn?
And paste that look directly to your character.
Why are her eyes so far apart? She's a perfect 47 out of 46, guys.
The next thing we're going to be talking about is one of the most important things in an MMO, and that's combat. BDO uses an action combat style system that all around feels really good. It also...
I guarantee you half the audience is like, what is it, 47 out of 46? Never looked at biology.
allows for classes to have very high skill floors, which lets you sync.
No, skill ceiling. Skill floor is the skill it takes to pick up a class and play it for the first time. Skill ceiling is the skill at which the class can be played at the highest possible level. Anyway.
So much time into being able to master your class, whether that's trying to optimize your PvE combo to get the most out of your grind, or decimate other players in PvP. People have tendencies to sink
There is no PvP.
hundreds of hours into mastering both of these, myself included, because we want to be able to make as much money as possible or help lead our guild to victory in fights, whether that's node wars or just random skirmishes between another guild and the
Is he even playing BDO in 2025? I don't think I've ever been to a GVG in 2025. Has one even happened? Unless you're in family, I don't think that one has even happened. Straight up. It's not a thing. It doesn't happen anymore. There's no open world PvP. They killed it. They killed it. Node Wars, again, what he's saying used to be true, and that's why players are upset. That's why the PvP community is upset. Because what he is saying currently was the truth 1 year ago today. Well, 1 year, like 13 months ago. 13 or 14 months ago. Like before they started changing, everything.
in the open world. Now you're probably wondering, what is there to even do in BDO? Well,
Good question.
BDO is a sandbox MMORPG that lets you do essentially anything.
Thank
do you want
God.
to be a cook? Or maybe even an...
You sacrilegious freak. Who does AFK cooking on a male character? What in the is wrong with you? This is what Dark Knights were made for. You just sit there because all you have to do while you're sitting in your residence for hours is sit there and stare at your character's cake. And no, not the one she's making at the utensil.
alchemist. What about capturing and training wild horses, then breeding them up to a dream horse, or maybe even a mythical horse? Maybe you're wanting something that's just a little bit more relaxed. You could do some fishing, whether that's
Some fishing. True. You could do some fishing. How many of us are doing some fishing on a regular basis? That's true. Very, very true. Some fishing.
AFK or active fishing. If I'm being honest, BDO has a lot of life skills that you can dive into. Honestly, there's quite a few.
Unironically, the BDO life skills are BIS in genre. Best in genre. Not even a question. Like, I played the hardcore classic WoW for a while, and then again, you're not going to Final Fantasy, Guild Wars. Like, none of those games are, and obviously Throne, nothing comes close to this right here. It's not even remotely close. Like, again, you got hunting, fishing, gathering, alchemy, processing, training, trading, farming, sailing, and bartering. Like all of that shit has its own systems. And then you have like worker empires too, right? So like all that shit has its own systems, and they're all very unique and very cool. And they have like, so it really does have that sandboxy feel. So like if you're looking for a sandbox, BDO is definitely the best MMO in the genre for you.
That I haven't even done myself yet.
No sex working? You've clearly never been to my residence.
From gathering, hunting, fishing, bartering, trading, processing, cooking, alchemy, farming, sailing, and even training, there's honestly something for everyone. The bonus is a lot of these life skills actually coincide with each other, so you can level them all up at the same time. Now the last thing
Well, maybe not all of them.
to be touching on our list of pros is going to be the new player experience. Honestly, BDO used to be known as a very hard game for new players to get into.
Hot take, it still is. I think that if you put yourself in the perspective of a new player, it is still catastrophically an overwhelming game when you start. However, the bar has been lowered. It's been probably cut in half from what it was. And it's still ridiculous. But here's the deal. I think that it's at a low point that I think that is good. BDO is a game. The learning curve for BDO is extremely steep. And BDO is a game it's not for everybody. It's not going to appeal to everybody. It's kind of a niche game, yeah. But like the people that it does appeal to, they love this curve. They love how crazy big the world is, how insane the system, how insanely deep some of the systems are, and how complex a lot of the game can actually be. You know, when you look at it and how deep some of the classes are and stuff, they want those deep, very rich systems. And this has been one of my complaints that the developers have done over the last like year and a half, is I think they've actually taken it a step too far, like dumbing down their game, like straight up, like like Fruit of Nature, like the Fruit of Nature change. I'll be honest with you, as an alchemist, I did not like that very much. The only thing I liked about that was that Fruit of Nature became actually like available on the marketplace. That was it. But like there used to be a bunch of different like Fruit of Abundance and like Fruit of Nature, Fruit of Crimson Flame, Fruit of Crimson Power, whatever the and like a number of different fruits that you'd use for different alchemical recipes that you would need. I would rather have them just made those way more available to players and made them available on the marketplace instead of simplifying a system that I actually thought was really cool. The alchemy system I really originally got captivated by because I had to go out into the world and gather for these really rare materials, and then I could put them together at the thing, and then I had this elixir that nobody else had, right? Like that's kind of like the fantasy that I was looking for when I did alchemy, and I think that they've taken that a little bit of that sense of adventure away from our players a little bit.
Whether it was because they felt like it was going to take them so long to catch up to the other players, or they didn't understand how enhancing and fail stacking worked, or many other things in the game that they just didn't understand.
The devs think that the pity system is like perfect, and it's so annoying, bro. They implemented the pity system when it honestly, idea to put a pity system in the game. Finally, they did that. They should have done that forever ago. But the pity system is still way too punishing. You have to go like 3x the average in order to get the pity. That's way too much. You should at most be like 1.5x the average. At most 1.5. Otherwise, it's just it's still too punishing for players, and people will still quit the game for the same reason. That's why they had to bring down Pen Blackstar used to be a 40 pity. 40 pity attempts. What the?
And because there is so much to try to pick up in BDO right out the gate. And that is still sort of the case, but they have simplified it a lot with the additional of Season Plus, rapidly accelerating the rate at which you are going to level up, and then being able to get gear, whether that's through Tuvala into the new free Pen Blackstar that you're going to be able to get one time per family.
Trust me. Only one time per family. One time per family. Well, two, maybe three times at maximum. No more than 4, though. No more than 4. Definitely not more than 5. Oh, Jesus. 5. Can you imagine? Maybe 6.
With the addition of, Agris Anvil as well, enhancing is now no longer a pitfall. For those of you that don't know, in the past, we didn't...
Bro, I feel like he's getting paid to say this.
Didn't even know what our chance of success was when we were enhancing. We just...
Oh my God, those were the days. Do you guys remember when they didn't... Guys, there used to be this janky-ass old enhancement window. There was no percentage at all. You had no idea. You just saw your fail stack, and you would just click the button. You had no idea what the percentage actually was on your chance to succeed. None. You had no idea. Eventually, there was someone in the Black Desert community that data mined all of the data. Also, when you looked at your Zarka or your Black Star or whatever, there was no hidden AP, monster AP, hidden evasion, hidden DR, accuracy, any of that stuff. None of that stuff was shown on the weapon. It was just the AP number. That was it. All of those stats were hidden from us. And then one day, a BDO streamer by the name of BDO Blue, different Blue, not me, data mined all of that data out of the game files and published it in a huge ass document online so that everybody knew what like the soft caps were for enhancing, how much accuracy and monster AP and stuff were on weapons and stuff. And Perlibus came down on him really hard. They permabanned him for it. He died a martyr. He's still a streamer to this day. He plays Throne of Liberty most of the time now.
Just kind of swung at it. We didn't
He
know.
joined KR, yeah, but he kind of lost his drive to play the game though.
Put a fail stack in and hoped for success. But Then they made it to where we were able to see our chances of success, and then later on they added the Agris Anvil to make it to where we were being able.
Damn. Homie, I feel this pain. I feel this pain. Oof.
To build up a pity system just to be able to get our gear, so it wasn't feeling like you were wasting a lot of time on enhancing.
You still are, yeah.
All right, now that we've got all the pros out of the way, let's go ahead and touch on...
Homie's gathering for a Valencia meal right now. I know exactly. He's at Tashir. He's just west of Tashir.
On the cons, because obviously there is going to be some, if not many, because nothing is perfect. The number one con that I'm going to put on this list currently is going to be lack of endgame content. Initially,
preach, brother. Preach.
BDO's primary endgame used to be its node wars, conquest wars, sieges, and predominantly open world PvP. But over time,
you mean all the stuff that you talked about earlier that made it a great game? How the f are you going to put all that shit in the pros column and have it as your first and primary con? What are we talking about?
Time that focus has changed, and the current state of PvP is in a very rough and almost non-existent spot.
Well, okay then. I'm glad that we agree. Well, shit. I was worried I was being controversial. There it is. Thank you. So you just straight lied in the first like 3 minutes of the video. Then okay, so now we're on the truth telling part. Okay.
They have been making, changes to this and trying to fix it, but it's...
No, I'm going to be honest with you right now. Brutal honesty right here. If they had not touched any PvP systems for the last year and a half, the game would have more players. Not joking.
It's still in a really rough spot, and it ends up leaving players at the end game wandering aimlessly because we feel like there's literally nothing for us to do. I mean, Black Desert doesn't have any raids, it doesn't have any real dungeons with the game, so we end up just grinding the same places over and over to ultimately be able to grind them faster. And if you're not the kind of person that enjoys running those circles endlessly, endgame, at least in the current state of the game, is not going to be the most enjoyable process, but the bonus is it will take you a bit to get to that point. Now, this one personally isn't a massive con to me, but I'm going to add it because I know that a lot of people really dislike gender-locked classes. While BDO does have male and female counterparts for classes, it's not exactly true for all.
I don't give a f that the classes are gender-locked, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think that most people care either.
For example, Warrior has Valkyrie, Witch has Wizard, Ranger has...
I think that the most controversially locked class is actually on the screen right now. I think that if anyone could play a male class instead of a female, it would be Scholar.
Has Archer, but then you have Sage, you have Lan, you have Hashashin, you have Dracania. These classes don't have a male or female counterpart, and it just might turn some people off of certain classes or the game because they really like that class itself, but they would like to play as, a male and or female character, and it's just going to vary depending on which class you end up picking. I personally fell in love with Lan. I think she plays amazingly, and
a lot of people also fell in love with Lan. They play with her amazingly, if you catch my drift.
And I don't care too much that I'm not playing as a male character, even though normally I used to only play like guy characters. I absolutely hated gender lock for the longest time, but I've kind of moved on past it.
Wait, why does your Mystic look like some stuck-up Karen? Did you guys see this shit? Look at this Mystic. Bro, I'm telling you, this looks like a bitch that would get really upset over a Starbucks order and the police would have to get called.
Okay, now it's time to tackle the big thing that everybody wants to know in just about any game that they go to play. Is BDO pay to win? Yes, there's absolutely pay-to-win items in BDO, whether it is the cash shop tent
Everything.
that allows you to pop combat buffs, drop rate buffs, life skill buffs, or even repair your gear so that you don't have to stop the grind. There is also life skill clothes that you can buy, such as the Pavilla and the Canape outfits for both alchemy and cooking.
Canapé. Okay.
These outfits give you a
Low-key, Pavilla set, kind of goated. Not gonna lie. Low-key, Pavilla set's kind of crazy.
15% buff and reduced
Actually,
overall
insanely
time
good.
while doing cooking or alchemy by like 1 to 2 seconds.
Bro,
With
what
that
the
being
fuck
said,
is going on?
while there is these items that you can purchase only in the cash shop, there is also items that are from the cash shop that you can purchase from the central market through silver only. And the game also has tendencies to give out a bunch of these items as rewards. For example, I would put pets on the list for pay to win, but they have given out.
Bro, where are we gonna say just outfits in general? Where at, bro? You can't make a pay to win list. Everything in the game on the cash shop is pay to win.
Lots of pets
Literally
over recent times, lots of events that we're able to get pets from, and they give pets through the story. Now, the difference between, you know, your tier 5 pet and your tier 1 pet is going to be huge. So if you do end up spending money on pets just to make that experience a little bit quicker, yes, you could consider that pay to win.
You can get suggested pets for free. I don't recommend necessarily buying pets until you're about 100 hours into the game.
Instead of waiting for the events to give you some, but that's kind of where I stand on the pay to win in BDO. I feel it is not as bad as most games. Now, honestly, there are many things that I could have touched on for both pros and cons. These are just some of the ones that I felt were...
Wait, what? Cats and dogs? Like there's cats and dogs in the game? It's an interesting pro. Character creation, quality of life. Like that's another interesting. That's an interesting pro. New player experience. I would say that this is one of our cons, but it's gotten better over the years. But still, technically a con, right? Combat, graphics, and how you gonna put content in the pros column after you just said there's no end game? What are we talking about? What is happening?
Important to bring up. So, do I feel that BDO is worth playing in 2025? Yeah.
No, there is a lack of direction. It's 100%. He's not wrong. Brother, we're encouraging everyone to AFK, and then we're talking about making a bunch of PvP systems, going all over the place with gear and life skills and shit. Like, what is going on?
Honestly, despite some of the issues, it's worth checking out, especially since you're not really risking any money if you do grab it right now for free, since it is currently on a 100% off sale for the base game. The game's great for new players, and PA has been giving out loads of amazing items, such as free Pen Black Stars, which used to be the best in slot weapon in the game, and even mythical horses, which are the highest tier mount in the game. So
for now, I don't know what she is. It's a dragon. Huh?
personally say go for it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helped.
Honestly, he's right. He's right. I don't know why he's so back and forth about saying like, hey, this is a pro, but this is also a con. Hey, this is a pro, this is also a con. But he's right. It's a good video.